the more I listen to Israeli settlers, the more I realize that these people are nothing but fascists who think they get to kill whoever they want because God supposedly gave them the land, which is something many other nations have used in order to justify a genocide. Uh, the Nazi Germans, they claim that God gave them whatever they wanted, which allowed them and justified them murdering Jewish people. You have the US founding fathers who used manifest destiny and the claims that God gave them that land, which uh, allowed them to justify themselves in the mass murder of natives. This claim that God has given people land is just an excuse to use to genocide people.
Was crudely erased. Under international law, the Beit Hagla settlement is illegal, but last February, the Israeli government officially recognized it along with 8 others and moved the U.S.
Yeah, this just shows that the Israeli government does not care about international law when they knowingly and willingly break international law all the time.
strongly opposed. We're here because God promised us this land, Azrael Picard tells us.
Wow, imagine somebody coming to your house and telling you that the house you live in belongs to them because told them that it was their house. You would call them insane for that. But Israeli settlers, they think it's a justified excuse to murder people and steal their land.
Now these settlers have set their sights on a new prize, one that seemed utterly impossible before October 7th. Returning to Gaza, they cheer. That is the goal of Zionist settler organization Nahalah. One
This is a reason why Bibi Netanyahu does support Hamas with funding because he knows uh, since Hamas doesn't want a two-state solution and that they're willing to commit terrorist attacks against people, that he can use them as a justification for ethnic cleansing in Gaza so that Israel can claim it. It's something that the Israeli ministers have spoken about many times before, where they want to take Gaza, land in Gaza, and build it up for Israel's.
of more than a dozen groups now advocating for the reestablishment of Israeli settlements in Gaza. A recent promotional video even boasts that Gaza will become the next Riviera. Daniela Weiss is the godmother of the movement, and she's already started recruiting from the 700,000 strong settler community of Israel. We're just
Yeah, the 700,000 Israelis that are considered illegal to live there under international law and breaking international law and about breaking international law because they don't care about international law whatsoever. International law means nothing to these people because they think the only law they have to follow is God.
arriving now at a settlement in the occupied West Bank, and we're heading to a talk that Daniela Weiss is giving to a group of people who are potentially interested in resettling Gaza.
People that are interested in ethnically cleansing Gaza, these people are happy about murdering Palestinian babies, and I'm supposed to believe these are the good guys. I'm supposed to be upset that uh, Israelis are being attacked while they're openly advocating for the genocide of all Palestinians. Like, I mean, there was just a 12-year-old that was murdered in the West Bank by an Israeli officer, and somehow I'm supposed to believe that the Israeli officer is the good guy for murdering a 12-year-old.
We are for the land of Israel and Ben Gvir, she says. About 20 people gather in the living room of a family home. Weiss knows that for many in this community, there is deep nostalgia for Gush Katif, a block of 21 Israeli settlements that were forcibly evacuated by the IDF in 2005 when Israel left the Gaza Strip.
They have nostalgia for ethnic cleansing. That's all they care about. I mean, they act like they care about, settling Gaza, but all they care about is actually seeing as many Palestinians being murdered as possible.
This is the vision of Gaza, she says. You see all the nucleus groups. A map has already been drawn up, with 6 groups laying claim to different parts of the enclave.
Yeah, these people literally believe that they're allowed to kill people and steal their land because God said so. How insane is that? I mean, imagine if somebody came to your house and threatened to kill you if you didn't leave because God told them that that house belongs to them. You would consider them insane and would want to call the authorities or something, or at least try to defend yourself against people trying to kill you and take your land.
They've just been handing out these little booklets that say, "People of Israel, return home," and then underneath, a call to return to the settlements of Gaza. One of the organizers tells the group they have a representative flying to Florida to raise money. Nachala gets support from a number of groups in the U.S., including AFSI, Americans for a Safe Israel, which co-sponsored a recent webinar on the return to Gush Katif, even as the Biden administration has cracked down on settlements in the West Bank.
Well, not really cracked down. All he's done is sanction like 4 Israeli settlers for murdering an American because the Israeli settlers don't care who you are, Palestinian, American, whatever. If you get in their way, they're going to murder you because they're deranged and they think that any land that somebody's on belongs to them and they're willing to murder for it. And the IDF is willing to protect them and they will murder people for trying to defend themselves.
Strong support from very prominent, from very, I would say, wealthy people, wealthy Jews
In the US.
In the US.
Can you name any names?
No, I cannot.
Wow, she's afraid to name names. I wonder why. Is it because she knows what she's doing is abhorrent, that she's advocating for ethnic cleansing and genocide, that she's no better than a Nazi?
No.
Back at her home in Kedumim settlement, Weiss tells us she's already enrolled 500 families.
I even have on my cell phone names of people who say, enlist me, enroll me, I want to join. I want to join the groups that are going to settle Gaza.
I have to ask you though, because we're sitting here talking and we're listening to the
Yeah,
call
I'm listening
to
to
prayer,
it. I hope you are listening to
which
it.
is a reminder, I think, of the people who live here, but
Yeah.
also the people who live in Gaza. What happens to them
Okay.
in this vision of this new settlement with Jewish settlers even in Gaza City?
What I think about Gaza, the Arabs of Gaza lost the right to be in Gaza on the 7th of October. Yes, I do hear the mosque, I do hear the prayer. Things were different until the 7th of October. No Arab, I'm speaking about more than 2 million Arabs. They will not stay there. We, Jews, will be in Gaza.
That sounds like ethnic cleansing.
Okay. The Arab
It doesn't sound like ethnic cleansing. It is ethnic cleansing. This woman advocates for the genocide of Arabs and Palestinians because she thinks all Arabs are evil people.
want to annihilate the state of Israel. So you can call them monsters. You can call them cleansing of Jews. We are not.
Right, because every single Arab is wanting the destruction of the Israeli government, which is uh stupid to claim and outlandish because that is not the case. It is a total lie, and it's just based upon racism, her own hatred for Arabs. So she thinks that even Arab babies want the destruction of the Israeli government. This would be no different than a Nazi claiming that all Jewish people are trying to destroy the United States uh, by allowing immigration into the United States. And there are tons of right-wing Americans in the United States that believe Jewish people are trying to destroy the United States. That is considered racism. But calling all Arabs monsters and claiming that they want to destroy the Israeli government is somehow not considered racism when it should be considered racism. This person is just a racist.
Doing to them, they are doing to us. I couldn't make it clearer when I said that myself, as a person who is preoccupied with settling the land, until the 7th of October, I didn't have plans of returning to Gaza. It's
So, because of October 7th, she now wants to murder babies and take the land that their family live on because somehow October 7th justifies that she can, murder babies. How insane is that? She is like no different than Hamas, but she wants to think she's better than Hamas because God.
clear. I'm not interested in cleansing.
Right. Yet everything you talk about is just ethnic cleansing. Total lie.
What is clear is that Weiss's views, traditionally seen as extreme in Israel, have become more popular since October 7th. In late January, jubilant crowds packed an auditorium in Jerusalem for the Victory of Israel conference, calling for the resettlement of Gaza.
Wow. And all these people are excited about the genocide of Palestinians, and I'm somehow supposed to be in support of these people when they want to murder babies.
A poll that month from the Jewish People Policy Institute found that 26% of Israelis advocate the reconstruction of the Gush Katif settlements after the war is over.
That's a good number of people. 26% of the population advocate for uh, genocide. That's pretty extreme.
Among supporters of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's right-wing coalition government, that number jumps to 51%.
Well, no surprise that it does jump that high. Uh, it's hard to find a right winger that isn't an advocate for ethnic cleansing, because no matter where you go, any right winger you talk to, they're going to advocate for ethnic cleansing because right wingers are fascist and all they care about is murder.
Several ministers were present at the conference, including far-right heritage minister Amihai Eliyahu.
Yeah, no surprise there. Every single right-wing minister in the Israeli government openly advocates for genocide of the Palestinian people, and somehow they're supposed to be the good guys here when they openly advocate for genocide. When the Nazis were advocating for genocide, we didn't consider them the good guys, did we? Nah, we saw them as bad people for wanting to commit a genocide.
In a rare interview with Western media, he tells us his political decisions are guided by the Torah. Is there
I mean, it's insanity to live to base your government laws on a fictional religion. This is the problem with having religious nuts control a government. They end up becoming uh, right-wing religious nuts that openly advocate for genocide, like at Nazi Germany. Uh, when the right-wing Germans got control of the government, they constantly advocated for genocide and committed a genocide, and they all did it based upon religion.
anything about Gush Katif in here?
Yes. Yes, בברכת המזון.
And that settlements in Gaza are needed to prevent another October 7th.
השפה של...
Man, they're so happy about committing a genocide. They laugh and smile when they speak about it. How is that not like insane to be excited about a genocide?
The language of the land says that wherever there is a Jewish settlement, there will be more security. Doesn't mean there
Right, because murdering people and taking their land makes you more secure somehow. Besides, the fact that, people are mad about you killing their family and taking their land and they would want to fight you, just like how when the United States went and, mass murdered a bunch of people in Afghanistan and Iraq over the lives of WMDs, it didn't make more people like the United States, it made more people hate the United States.
will be absolute security, but there will be more security.
Why would you advocate for something that many would say is illegal, is immoral, is not supported by the majority of Israelis, and is also very harmful to Israel in terms of its international standing?
Why do you think it's immoral to take land from someone who wants to kill me? Why is it immoral to take my land, which my ancestors lived there, which I've even given up, to someone who slaughters, rapes, and murders me?
Okay, so this is coming from a guy that is advocating for the murder of innocent people, and he wants to pretend that he's the good guy because he thinks everybody in the world wants to murder him while actively and advocating for the murder of innocent Palestinians. He believes that even babies want to murder him. This is the insanity that comes with religion.
What is more immoral than that?
Netanyahu has called resettling Gaza, quote, an unrealistic goal, and most Israelis agree. But that hasn't stopped scores of IDF soldiers fighting there from posting videos.
Yeah, Israeli soldiers love to make propaganda videos pretending that they're the good guys while they go out and murder 12-year-old boys for shooting fireworks and throwing rocks and just exist.
Calling for a return to Gush Katif. For many supporters of the settler movement, what was once a distant fantasy is now a fervent dream.
Yeah, they all just dream about genocide and murdering Palestinians because